Hello everyone, welcome to the TEVcars channel. Today we have the Model 3 Highland. This car just arrived. I was so excited that I didn't even wait until the next day. I came over to film it tonight. It's nighttime right now, so the lighting might not be ideal, but anyway, it is just too stunning to ignore. This is a dual motor, long range version with a red exterior and white interior. Let's take a closer look. The exterior updates on this car are mainly focused on the front and rear. Starting with the front, the most significant changes are in the headlights and the front bumper. The headlight design has shifted from the previous curved lines to a more angular shape, and the daytime running lights have also become linear. This shape reminds me of something. Unfortunately, we can't turn on the lights because the car is in showroom mode, but we can still see some of the details inside. The turn signals are located here. Moving down, the front bumper has a sharper design than before, and the two ventilation ports on either side have been removed. It seems that the fog lights have been integrated into the headlight assembly. For those familiar with Tesla's driver assistance features, you'll notice that all the ultrasonic and millimeter wave radars have been removed, making this area much cleaner. Overall, the front has transitioned from a cute, rounded style to a more austere look. I'm not sure how you all feel about it, but I'm still getting used to this new design. Moving on to the side of the car, at first glance it doesn't seem like much has changed, and indeed there haven't been significant design alterations to the sides. It still looks like the Model 3 we're familiar with. Take a look at these wheel rims. They are 19-inch rims with a black and silver dual-tone design. The black part is a removable component, likely made of plastic, designed to reduce air resistance while also adding depth to the overall wheel design. It looks much better than the current 19-inch rims. As for the rear, this is where the most significant changes have occurred. Starting from the top, the tail lights have been simplified into a C shape. This area integrates the parking lights, brake lights, and turn signals, while the reverse lights have been moved to the bottom. The style of these lights matches the front headlights, both adopting a linear design that feels very streamlined. Personally, I prefer these new taillights. What do you think? Moving down, Tesla has also removed the rear ultrasonic radars. The black area on the rear bumper has been significantly expanded, resembling the current Model S and Model Y, giving it a more powerful look. I really like this design. Let's move on to the interior, which I must say has been almost completely revamped in this update. Every touch point has been redesigned. Starting with the steering wheel, it now more closely resembles the current Model S and X. There's no yoke option available at the moment, but that might change in the future. On the left side, you have touch buttons for controlling the lights, while on the right, you have buttons for the camera, windshield wipers, and voice input. These buttons are touch sensitive but provide both haptic and auditory feedback when pressed. The auditory feedback is quite realistic and pleasing, although the haptic feedback leaves something to be desired. It's slightly better than what you get in the Model S, but when compared to the haptic feedback on current smartphones like the iPhone, there's definitely room for improvement. The scroll wheels on either side serve similar functions as before. The left one controls entertainment media like music and volume, while the right one is for autopilot. However, a new feature has been added to the right scroll wheel. You can now activate autopilot by pressing it down. The center screen has been upgraded from 15 inches to 15.4 inches, achieved by reducing the bezel size. However, when compared to the slim bezels on modern laptops, this one still feels a bit wide. And if you compare it to the bezels on smartphones, well, this one could practically serve as an aircraft carrier. But let's not be too harsh. It has to meet automotive safety and durability standards, so there's only so much they can do. Hopefully we'll see improvements in the future. The computer still uses an AMD chip, and there are no issues with responsiveness. The user interface remains largely unchanged from the previous version. One notable addition is the ambient lighting inside the car. It offers 256 colors, and you can easily change the lighting color right here on the screen. Next, I have to talk about the air vents. Originally, this area featured a combination of upper gunmetal gray metal and lower wooden trim. Now the wooden trim has been replaced with a non-woven fabric-like material. It feels soft to the touch and has a nice texture. If you have an N95 mask nearby, the texture here feels quite similar. The lower metal still retains its gunmetal grey color, but now includes some fine detailing, making it look more refined. Overall, the design here has been simplified but doesn't come off as cheap. The interface for controlling the air conditioning remains the same, but they've added a ventilation switch for the front seats at the bottom. That's right, the front seats finally have ventilation now, although the rear seats still lack this feature. The seats have become more comfortable, not just because of the ventilation, but also because they're softer and offer better support. The rear seats have been extended, providing more support and are softer, making them quite comfortable. Additionally, a small screen has been added to the rear, which can be used to control the rear air conditioning, airflow direction, and even adjust the music. The screen is quite clear. I wonder, since they've added a screen to the rear, why can't they add a small dashboard in front of the driver? Even a tiny one would free up space on the central control screen for other functions. Who knows why they haven't done this? The rear screen can also be used to watch videos and movies, but it's probably too small for anyone to enjoy watching, except maybe for kids. In addition to these changes, there are many other modifications in the interior. For example, the center armrest area hasn't changed much, but the storage space and cup holders in front of it now have a newly designed cover, which is also inspired by the Model S. Moving on to the roof area, the hazard light button is still located in the same spot, but is now touch sensitive. On either side, there are backup touch sensitive gear shift buttons. The interior lights have also been upgraded to touch sensitive controls. The older model had somewhat yellowish lighting, which didn't provide great illumination. The new model, however, has much brighter lights, which is definitely a plus. The door panels have also been simplified, featuring a large white area adorned with ambient lighting and metallic strips. The attention to detail has improved. Just look at these areas. They've really done a great job compared to before. They've also upgraded areas that were prone to wear and tear. There's also a hook at the bottom of the door. I asked some Tesla folks on site and they didn't know what it's for. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know in the comments. As for the trunk, it doesn't seem to have changed much from the older model. It appears to be the same size as before. The front trunk is also the same. I took a quick look inside, and the main difference is that the windshield washer fluid inlet has been moved to the front, making it more convenient. I've asked my Tesla contacts and unfortunately this car is not available for test drives yet, so we'll have to wait to test its performance on the road. That wraps up this video for now. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.